This podcast contains a few instances of adult language. Viewer discretion is advised.
This week on Florida's Fourth Estate, what's green, explosive, and flies through the night sky? A meteor catches Florida's attention. It's not subtle at all.
No, that's someone's doorbell.
And the other green thing terrifying Floridians this week is 17 feet long. And the creepiest part about this find, she was found with 73 eggs incubating. Plus, my co-host Ginger and I dig deep into our archives with the worst career advice we have ever received. From a mascara mishap to a silicone solution.
Straighten your teeth and get a boob job.
Hi there and welcome to Florida's Fourth Estate. We have a good one for you today. We had the most interesting guest you've ever seen today.
Was it the most interesting man in the world?
It was. And he's not here.
It's okay. We're going to get him back later. We're not going to say who it is.
No.
But, you know.
Because we want him to actually come.
Yeah, but the show must go on.
Yeah, so today, instead of the traditional where we have a guest, you and I are going to tell some of our worst advice we've ever gotten.
You didn't say who you were.
My name's Matt Austin. Who are you?
And I'm Ginger Gadsden.
This is already just going well.
Because I'm so thrown off because we normally have a third person here, and that usually makes it really good, you know, because it's someone interesting, someone we care about, or who has something that we all are, you know, talking about. Anyway,
let's not dwell on that.
I can't help it.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
worried now.
We still have some great
stories. The show must go on, and it's going.
Yeah, it's going to be about us to...
And someone's being paged, but it's not the person who's
Well, let's just put a cap on this crappy-ass
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Anybody else want to make any announcements? My goodness. Hopefully you haven't turned off by now. But hey, what a crazy, in the last week, really something got the attention of Florida.
Yeah. You know, it feels like it's redundant saying crazy Florida stories because it's always, that's just the norm. So imagine you're driving along in your car and you see the biggest, brightest light in the sky, and it's not like a street light, it is streaking, and it is moving like a gajillion miles per hour. Well, that's what some people saw over North Florida, I believe, and it ended up being an honest-to-God meteor, and it's like something they see in the movies. Like Hollywood should have known this thing was going to happen. Let's look at the video and show you what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's not subtle at all.
No, that's someone's doorbell camera catching that.
Thank the good Lord for these ring doorbells. Can you imagine seeing that in the sky? I would have thought a plane was exploding or something.
It's the end of times.
Yeah.
It's the end of days. And that is, you hear about it, but I wonder why it didn't make a noise. Like, you know, you hear like, we've seen the ones from the dash cam in Russia that like took out buildings, basically like shattered all the glass in the building. But this one didn't do that, and they can't even find any remnants of it. So someone's probably out there searching right now to see if they can find just any little piece of what's left. But how incredible to see something like that. And people were calling 911, like there's something happening in the sky. What is it?
It's wild. It actually kind of brings me a little solace. Can I tell you a strange story?
Go on.
All right. I drive in the middle of the night a lot for my job when I'm headed home. One night, I swear to you, I'm not a crazy person, I saw a green light in the sky streak down at a speed that made no sense to my brain. And I told a few people about it without trying to act crazy.
Because you didn't want to see him,
And that was a green light streaking down in the sky, similar to the way I saw it back then. So I think I saw a meteor.
You, my friend, saw a meteor. You know,
I could have sworn it was an alien.
No, but it's great. You know what? That's why I have a dash cam in my car. Do you have... I gave you a dash cam.
Yeah, you gave me a dash cam.
Is it installed? Wow. Wow.
Wow, we're doing this on the podcast. I have not had a chance to install it yet. Oh,
so you really are liking it. Okay.
Cold busted.
Moving on.
Crap. Well,
that's for the after show.
Hey, where's your guest today, Ginger?
That's painful. Because it was my turn.
I know. I'm just trying to divert.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, we live in Florida. Crazy animals live here, and some animals that aren't supposed to be here. I guess a reptile, I should say. Take a look at this 17-foot python. Oh, take a good gander at this thing. This was found in the Everglades, It takes about 4 dudes to handle this thing. And the creepiest part about this find, she was found with 73 eggs incubating, I guess, inside of her? Is that the word? Or was that?
Matt, we'll talk about the birds and the bees
Can
later.
you tell me?
That's how it works.
Can you tell me about the birds and the pythons?
I think she had not laid her eggs yet. And when she did, it was going to be like 73 little baby pythons running around in the Everglades. And that's why they have to, they have these hunts where guys are paid to capture these things because they eat everything. You've seen the crazy videos of them like eating like
an alligator.
Yeah.
They're like splitting open because they're eating so much.
Crazy. So,
but it's a real issue. I mean, and
really
that kind of sums it up. That one snake there had 73 babies.
Yeah, 17 feet long, 140 pounds or something. Yeah.
Man, that weighs almost as much as I do.
Better in the Everglades than, in someone's washer or dryer or in someone's toilet.
Yeah.
That's usually where they pop up sometimes.
That
not that.
That thing ain't fitting in nobody's toilet, I know.
I hope not, unless you're a giant. Good grief. Anywho. All right, so we love crazy stories here in Florida. So this guy was doing a good deed, right? So it happened, I think it was in, oh gosh, I can't remember what part of Florida, Holly Hill, Florida. In Holly Hill, Florida, this guy sees a red Mercedes. It crashed. It's on fire. So he, as a good citizen, stops to help this guy. It sees that somebody's trapped in the car, right? And as he's helping this guy, rescuing this guy, someone's carjacking his car.
Yeah.
Okay, so what they didn't know is like his wife and baby were left in the car. So the guy who's trying to carjack it, it's like, okay, you picked the wrong car, my friend.
Baby.
The woman grabbed her baby, and also, this is very important, a can of soup. She chased the guy off with a can of soup and her baby. I imagine it. She has a baby on the hip, a can of soup in the other hand, and to quote, this is an actual quote from the woman, "You ain't taking my damn car."
And I'm going to give you a face full of soup.
I'm trying to see what brand it is. It appears to be Progresso.
Yeah, home style, minestrone.
But seriously, what a loser. He actually ended up getting away because the woman chased him off.
But not with the car.
No, not with the car, not with the woman, and not with the baby. So don't mess with Mama Bear.
Yeah. Do you keep anything in your car to fight off somebody? A can of soup or anything like that?
No, I have like a flashlight.
You could do some
umbrella.
damage with a flashlight. I keep a big wooden stick my dad got for me. It's made out of
a bat.
The core of a tree. It is basically a bat. Yeah.
Is it in your car all the time?
It's a little better than a can of soup. I'm not going to lie to you.
No,
it's in my truck. I'm not. Yeah.
But I mean, what was it about that can that made that guy just take off? Is he allergic to like?
No, I can't handle minestrone.
That's got wheat.
That has gluten in it. Are you trying to kill me, lady?
Yes, she was.
Good. All right, it's time for our favorite moment.
Oh, yeah.
Hit it, Phil.
And now, your Floridian of the Week.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. So, I want you to picture this. All right, you're working at the ticket counter at the airport.
Yeah. Good
you
job.
know, you're just kind of slogging through the day. Yeah. People are coming. They're angry because they're at the airport. And then this guy shows up.
Okay.
He's disheveled. Okay. He's sweaty.
It's bad.
Shows up to the counter, and you're like, "Hey, sir, where are we going today?" You know, the standard question.
Shower.
And he takes out a wad of cash.
Oh.
He slams it on the table, and he goes, "Anywhere." Out of breath.
Okay.
This actually happened in Jacksonville.
I'm listening.
The person at the ticket counter intelligently called the police. They came, and the only place this guy was going to jail. Would you like to know where he had just come from, Ginger?
Well, let's see if I can put this together. He had a wad of cash.
Yes.
But he looked disheveled.
He was sweaty,
feel
breathing
like
hard.
Maybe he had just robbed a place.
He robbed a bank. And his plan was that he was going to go straight from the bank.
Yeah.
Hop on a plane and get out of Dodge.
Oh, he's watched some movies. Okay.
He has, yeah. I think that happened in Ocean's 14. And so this is a little bit of the report there from WJXT in Jacksonville. And they're kind of laughing about it because this guy just made it so obvious. He was such a dope. If he had just shown up and said, "Hey, send me to Jacksonville," and you know.
Or Or how about use some of that cash to go to one of those expensive airport stores and at least buy a nice shirt?
Yeah.
I mean, he had the money.
Throw on some cologne.
Anything.
So here he is.
That's
him in court, and things
well,
did not. That is your Floridian of the week.
Well, he got to go somewhere.
That he did. He took a trip.
It wasn't far.
Not the nicest
not
accommodations.
The one he planned, but you know,
exactly.
He's getting showered.
So at least
Whatever.
he made it easy. So this week we're going to get to know your hosts a little bit better.
We're sorry.
Yes. You're stuck with us.
No, I really we talked about this before, and we talk about it all the time. We're in the green room putting on makeup, and every once in a while, randomly, we'll talk about like our first jobs or how we got into the business and the terrible advice we received along the way.
And we each have some of each other's favorite stories that we like to, hey, go tell the one
There's
about
a story.
the, you know.
You tell a certain story, and I start crying every time. I'm like, no, Matt, I'm already made up. Please don't tell that story again, because I can't listen to it without crying.
Yeah.
And I'm in tears because the story is so funny. But I've been in this business for a while now, more than a minute.
We're news anchors, in case you're just tuning in for the first time.
And, you know, I love the business from the very first time I did my first internship in Columbia, South Carolina, and just fell in love with how a newsroom, it was like fast, people were kind of screaming, and then at the end of the day, there was a product, and then everything got wiped out and you started all over again. It's like, oh, that's great. It's different. So I loved it. But we're talking about some of the bad advice we got along the way. My first piece of bad advice I got as an intern, the news director at the time told me, change my first name or just use my middle name. My middle name is Lee. He says, no one's going to take a ginger seriously in news. If you're serious about being in news, then go by Lee. I was like, I like my name.
See, that's the problem.
And I have an Uncle Lee, so.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues with this business is people sometimes think you can't be yourself and be successful.
Yeah.
And obviously, that person was dead wrong. They're probably eating Alpo out of a can.
I don't
somewhere.
know. I feel like he's doing fine. But it's just one of those things where I was like, no. You know,
I'm going to keep my name. And I'm glad you did that.
Oh my gosh, me too. I love my name and people remember it.
It's different. Like you need things to set you apart.
Exactly. And the fun part for me is when I walk into a room, you're not expecting me to be a ginger. I'm just saying. I think of redheads when I think of gingers.
I would agree with that.
I have a friend who's a
you
redhead
know,
whose name is Ginger. So that's the first piece of bad advice I got. Do you want to tell a piece of bad advice? Because
no, I want you to keep going.
Okay, no. Okay, so then I end up getting a really good job in Indianapolis. It was my first market outside of my college town.
Anchor gig.
Yeah, I was doing weather at the time.
Oh, you were doing weather?
Oh, weekend weather and entertainment reporting. I did a segment called In the Foxlight because it was a Fox station. It's so awful right now when I think about it. It was terrible. So I did that for 6 months, and then they promoted me to the 10 o'clock anchor desk. And they are, we love you. Okay, you're going to need to change some things.
You're great just the way you are, except for a few things.
So I'm from a family of 15, so we didn't have braces in my family. You had teeth, so thank God for that. So the news director says, we're going to need you to straighten your teeth, because I had some special teeth, Matt.
What did they look? What, just tell me for a second.
Okay.
Let's describe your old teeth.
Okay. Well, they're still in my mouth, so I don't want to badmouth them too much. But my teeth are so big that they all couldn't fit in my mouth, and so when they grew, the bottom ones grew sideways. Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know, like you
all
put
right.
it sideways.
So it's like they were kind of like, were they crossed? Or were they like kind of?
They were just slanted. Very
slanted.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
All right.
I had no trouble eating corn, is all I'll say. It was like, I just sheared it right off the cob.
You could chew your way out of a bad situation.
This is terrible. And then, because I had so many teeth in the top of my mouth, right? There was one that didn't quite fit, so it stuck out. You know what a bike kickstand? So I would smile, and there'd be this little extra white thing protruding. And you know me, I have a big mouth. I love to smile. And it's like, okay, so here's this special tooth, my little friend. It's just like every time I smile. It's like, what is his name? He's an actor, and he can't, Buscemi.
Oh, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. He can't change his teeth right now because that's who he is. That's his trademark.
He needs that.
He needs that.
Yeah.
I was not him. I did not need those teeth. And so they were like, okay, you have to straighten your teeth. So
was that good advice that they gave you? Because your teeth are fantastic.
Yeah, it was great, but it didn't end with that. And straighten your teeth and get a boob job.
Oh,
yeah, that was
buried the lead.
That was the second part of that. I was like, oh, well, okay, no. I immediately knew. You know, I'm in my early 20s at this point. Like, I'm not going to change my body. I mean, now I think it would be I don't care. I don't have a problem with people who do it or don't do it. Yeah. But at the time, I was like, I'm not going to alter my body just to sit at a news desk. So whatever.
Yeah.
And their thing
surgery.
Was your suits are ill-fitting because everything. They were. I mean, it was like if you and I sat together at the desk, your suits would fit better than mine because at the time we were wearing you
had to wear suits.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the ladies wore suits.
We did, and so mine were boxy. They didn't fit because I'm 6 feet tall. I've got the arms of Go-Go Gadget.
Oh yeah.
It's whatever. I'm just put together differently, and that's fine. But immediately I was like, I'll straighten my teeth, but you got to pay for it because you're not paying me enough money to do it.
Yeah, so they paid for your braces,
they did.
Which aren't cheap. That's great.
No, and so now I have great teeth.
Cool.
And I know what you're at. Matt, my eyes are up
I'm
here.
not.
My eyes are up here, Matt. Please look me in the eyes.
That's where I'm looking.
These are real. They're mine.
Those eyes are real. Okay.
I think it was terrible advice, and I'm glad that I was a strong enough person to know and like myself enough to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, now I would totally have a boob job. Just saying.
Seriously?
I would, but I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I would.
All right.
But I'm not.
Okay. Well, I'm uncomfortable. So can I tell my story now?
Please.
All right, so I was, it always happens when you're young and you don't really know how to navigate waters. It's like one day I'm a college kid, the next day I'm an anchor on TV.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what the hell I'm doing.
It happened fast for you, too.
Yeah,
right,
it did.
Yeah.
I'd never done live TV before, and this idiot hired me to be a news anchor and produce my own show in some tiny market in Idaho. First market was Idaho Falls, Idaho. He wasn't an idiot. He was actually a nice guy. He just made a bad decision in hiring me. So I get on TV, and I'm just like this guy. I'm learning. I'd never been on live TV in my life.
Wow.
So I'm learning as I go. And of course, they're like, can you do it? I'm like,
yeah.
I can do it. Don't you worry. Live TV, schmive TV.
How hard can it be?
So, I'm just kind of navigating these waters, and I'm terrified. And there's this lady who works not really in the newsroom. She worked like somewhere in the building, and she was older than me.
Oh,
That's
God.
all I knew.
It's going to be the story.
Yeah. So she comes up to my little cubicle one day, and she's like, hey,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I know it.
Stop pre-laughing.
I'm sorry.
So I haven't even said anything funny yet. So she comes up to my cubicle and she goes, hey, Matt, we just love what you're doing around here.
That's how you know what's coming next. We love you.
Bomb's about to drop. See, I was young. I'm like, oh, sweet. They love what I'm doing. Then she says, but there's one thing we think you need to change. I think you should start wearing some mascara. I'm like, mascara? Like, I have started wearing the foundation hesitantly.
Sure.
Because, you got to do that or else you look pasty and shiny.
Yeah.
And she drops this, like, I don't know, some sort of crappy mascara from, like, CVS or something right on my desk. And she's like, I need you to try this tonight. And then she walks away with no explanation of
no
how.
No instructions.
Well, I'm just supposed to know how to do this. And again, I'm a young idiot, so I don't know to just be like, you're not even a manager. Like, why are you coming and telling me this? You've never been on TV in your life.
You put on mascara.
But I'm just like, you're older than me. You know.
You must know what you're talking about.
So that night, I don't say anything to anyone because I'm like, I can't ask my wife how to put on mascara. And she would have just been like, don't put on mascara. That's stupid.
Yeah, because your wife's smart.
But I'm scared to tell anyone that I have to wear mascara. So that night, it's a 10 o'clock show. So at about 9:45, I'm like, I better get back there and put on this mascara. I don't want to get in trouble by this lady who has no authority over me. And so I go into this little tiny bathroom. I can still picture it to this day. It's
God.
And I'm like, okay, I get it out. And I'm like, okay, I know this goes on my eyelashes. And so I get in the mirror, right? And I remember trying to jam it, you know, like get it.
Jam it is the wrong word.
I was trying to get it to go on my eyelashes, which is really difficult. I learned a new respect.
Correct.
And I blinked.
Oh.
And I jammed it right into the corner of my eye. And I'm like, oh, and I filled that thing up with mascara. It was like a paint roller of mascara. And I jammed it in there, and now it like falls to the ground on this gross bathroom floor. I can't see. My eye is watering.
What color are your tears?
They're black. I look like I'm some Kiss cover band. I look up in the mirror. I'm like, oh my God, how do I even get this off? It's starting to getting close to my shirt. It's all over my face. I'm trying to wipe it.
Now it's like
smearing.
10 minutes to your show.
It's like, oh, it's bad. I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, what do I do to get this stuff off? And so I take the thing. I'm so angry and frustrated. I throw it in the garbage. And I managed to like get it all together. I get on set like 30 seconds before the show starts.
Oh my God.
Bombed that show.
Well, you probably couldn't see because, you know, I've jammed myself a time or two in my eye with the wand. And I mean, it's painful. You can scratch your cornea or whatever, but do you feel like the little mascara you got on your eye, did it?
Did it help? It's probably still there. I think I swallowed some of it somehow. Yeah.
Oh,
but, I mean, thinking back now, it's like, what kind of...
Yes. I think my favorite thing is your wife's reaction once you finally told her.
I went home and I was like, you're not going to believe what happened to me. And I told her that this lady, she gave me some mascara. I jammed it in my eye. She's like, mascara? What did she want you to look like on TV? You're a news anchor.
I know there's some markets where guys, well, they have professional people who do it, and guys they'll even put some blush on you, or, you know, just if your lashes are really pale, they'll put a little color on it. But you don't need that. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah,
I'm glad you don't.
Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy I worked with who received some terrible advice.
Oh, what was it?
Okay, so there was this guy in one of my markets. I don't want to say who because I don't want to out anybody.
Okay.
But he was a sports guy, I'll say that. And then he was on TV, big, handsome dude. Mm-hmm. He did the weirdest stuff. He had the weirdest mannerisms on TV. His hands were everywhere. And, you know, I didn't know what I was doing at this point in my career, but I was like, that ain't you're supposed to look like right there. That much I know.
Don't do that and don't wear mascara.
Yeah, exactly. I have found two things. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to jam mascara in my eye anymore. And so I'm talking to him one day, and I'm like, God, it's so weird. How does he not know that this... And so he tells me, he's like, man, I got this great advice. He's giving me advice.
Oh, gosh.
He's like, I got this great advice from my mentor.
This is how it spreads.
Yeah. He said he never watches himself on TV, and that's how he keeps just trucking along and getting better. He just doesn't worry about it. He doesn't ever look at himself on TV.
Keeping it fresh.
And I'm looking at him, keeping it fresh, baby. I'm like, that's why you're so weird on television.
You don't know what an idiot you look like.
You've never watched yourself on TV? You know how much crap I've had to fix about myself from watching my weird quirks?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And blinks.
Oh my. He just would go for it.
He would just go for it. I don't even know. I mean.
Wow. Do you know if he's still doing this?
It was a circus. Last I checked, he was in a pretty good sized market. I think he finally started watching himself.
Oh, okay. He's not still doing the flailing and the hand talking.
There's not the flailing and the weird quirks and yeah. So
I mean, I don't watch myself now.
I don't watch myself.
Yeah, exactly. But in the beginning, it's like at the end of every show, you're like, in an edit booth.
Did I not look dopey this time? Still dopey. Did I get my words right?
But it sounds so vain. But that's, I mean,
you have to.
You have to in this business. But now I don't do it, and you don't either. You don't need to. You're great, Matt.
Oh,
you're awesome.
Thanks.
And I'm so happy you don't wear mascara. But let's talk about some eyeliner, though. No,
that seems dangerous.
Yeah, that's all of it's dangerous, and women have to do it every single time. But that is terrible. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you imagine if someone today, if a news director came to a journalist and said, you need to get a boob job?
Oh, well.
They would never.
Here's the thing. My news director didn't say it to me. The talent
coach? Was there a talent coach?
Yeah. She's the one who said it to me. So I feel like that he probably knew he shouldn't have said it. And she probably shouldn't
I
have said
don't
it
care
either. But
if your great aunt's sister comes up to you these days and says something like that.
Thank God I've always had a healthy dose of self-esteem because my parents raised me that way. They're like, it doesn't matter what people think about you. Don't even worry about it. I feel like that could have scarred me if I, took that to heart or did it and then hated myself later because I did something I didn't want to do.
Your parents did a killer job on you. I'm serious. It's one of the things. I have 3 daughters. I want them to be confident like you are. Ginger is 6 feet tall, every bit of 6 feet tall, even though I try to mess with her sometimes. If you want to piss Ginger off, tell her she's 5'10".
Oh, my God.
But she's every bit of 6 feet tall, and she'll wear 3-inch heels every day of her life and just doesn't care what you think. And I love that.
Don't diminish me, Matt.
What?
Don't try to diminish
wear
when
4-inch heels?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's fine. I can't be tall enough, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love
good.
it. But thank you for saying that.
No, it's true.
I mean,
it's
it wasn't that way when I
respect.
was a kid, but now it's like I own it and it's cool.
Hey, man, we were all jacked up and
this
weren't thinking
business, it
correctly
just
as a kid.
attracts the weirdest people. I'm weird in my own way. I'll say it for you. You're weird.
I'll give you that.
I mean, we all have to be a little different to be in this business.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit arrogant in your skills when you're out there and putting yourself in front of people and confident.
Yeah.
And then you have to be able to rein that in and be humble and realize, like,
Absolutely.
hey, I'm definitely screwing stuff up and I need to fix it, to actually progress in the job. So it's a strange
I know. So
dichotomy.
if there's anyone out there listening or watching and you're struggling with what you want to do right now or what you should be doing, and the worst thing you can do is listen to everyone.
Yeah.
Because you'll never figure it out. But if you just do what feels right for you, you will never go wrong, I feel.
Well, I feel like you got to find some people you trust, you know are looking out for your best interests. And not just that, like your mom's looking out for your best interest, your dad's looking out for your best interest.
Absolutely.
But they probably don't know whatever it is your chosen anything to do with it. And they're going to want to give you advice. You need to find someone in that profession who actually cares, wants you to succeed, and has good advice. And you got to watch them just as closely as you watch you and think, that's who I want to emulate. You know?
Absolutely.
So,
that's great advice.
I found some people in this business who were helpful to me. Thank God.
I mean, and you always give back too. I love that about you because you know that you were helped by others. So we have the internship program. Those interns come through, and every year you make a reel with them. You coach them on how to anchor.
Yeah,
so
we get
that's
them
really
intern
awesome.
anchor day. We do it every semester.
Yeah.
And but it was because when I was an intern, the weekend sports guy said, "Hey, come in on a weekend and bring a pizza for the director, and we'll have you do a little air check." And I was like, oh, that'd be awesome. So I came in on a weekend, gave him the pizza, and I did this little air check. I did terrible, I'm sure, but I put it on a resume tape, and that got me my first anchor job.
Isn't that something?
So I knew whenever the time came for me to help other people, like he helped me, I had to do it. So, that's the way it
just
goes.
don't be jerks to people because they can really help you.
That's the way it goes. Well, this was a lot of untethered advice today. We didn't really have a big plan for this, but I think it went well. I always
feel like
love
it went
hearing your
well.
stories.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
we're going to get a guest in here if it kills us next week, huh? Well, not next week because you're off.
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe.
I don't know. The week after. let's just make it work.
Yeah,
now I
we
got to
will.
go figure out what happened. I'm nervous about it.
Yeah, let's go make sure our guest is okay. This has been Florida's 4th estate. We'll see you when we see you.
Oh, that's a good way. I like that.
Whatever.